Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. This is part 66 of ASP.NET Core tutorial. In this video, we will discuss how to register a new user using ASP.NET Core Identity. We want our user registration form to look like this. We want to capture user email, which will be used as the username to log in, and then his password, and then finally another field to confirm the password they have provided. The first thing that we want to do is create a view. The first thing that we want to do is create a view model class. This is going to carry the data from this user registration view to the controller. What we want to do? The first thing that we want to do is create a view model class that is going to carry the data from this user registration view to the controller. So let's have that class to the view model folder. Go to the Visual Studio. So let's have that class to the view model folder in our project. Where is the view model folder? Here it is. Right click on the folder, add new item. We want to add a class. We want to add a class. Let's name the class register view model. Name the class register view model. In this register view model class, I am going to include 3 properties. In this register view model class, I am going to include 3 properties to capture user email, password, and confirm password. In the interest of time, I am going to paste the required code and then walk you through it. This is nothing new that is going on here. We discussed all these concepts in our previous videos in this series. So the code here should be pretty straightforward to understand. We have a registered view model. We have a register view model class. We discussed view model in detail in part 26 of this ASP.NET Core tutorial. In this view model class, we have got three properties: email, password, and confirm password. On these property, we are using built-in ASP.NET Core validation attributes for model validation. We see red squiggly lines. If you see the red squiggly lines under these required attribute or validation attributes, to fix that, you should bring in the required namespace by pressing Control public. We know these validation attributes are present in system.component model.data annotation namespace. So we already have this namespace here. Email is a required field. Email is a required field. So we are using the required validation attribute. We also want to ensure a valid email address format. This is the valid email address format. We also want to ensure a valid email address format is provided to validate against that. We are using the email address. Validation attribute. Password is also a required field. Password is also a required field. In the password text box on the UI, we do not want to display the typed characters. Instead, we want to mask those characters. Okay, what we want to do? We don't want to display the typed characters. Instead, we want to make those characters. We want to mask those characters. Instead, we don't want to display the typed character. Instead, we want to mask those characters. For that, we are using the password validation attribute. Password validation attribute. So the same is true for confirm password. Notice in the property name confirm password, we don't have a space between. Notice in the property name confirm password, we don't have a space between the words confirm and password. But when we display a label, for this field on the user interface UI, we want to include a single space between the words confirm and password. For that, we are using the display attribute. We are also using the compare attribute because we want to compare the password that we typed in the confirm password field with the value that is typed in the password field. The name of this property is specified right here. The name of this property is specified Here, the name of this field is specified here, right here. And if they do not match, this is the error matches. And if they do not match, this is the error message that we want to display. Password confirmation, password do not match. Password and confirmation password do not match. Confirm password do not match. We discuss these validation attributes and model validation in detail in part 42 and 43 of our ASP.NET Core tutorial. So if you are new to these concepts, please check out those videos. This register model class carries the data from this register view to the controller, and the controller will do the rest. I am going to name the controller account controller because we are dealing with user account. Here, creating, reading, updating and deleting user account. But before that, to create the controller, we have to check this green squiggly. Why this appear? Non-nullable property email must contain non-nullable value. So for this, you can put question mark here, and the squiggly goes away. Or you can also string, as you can see. If you use this, if you don't use this question mark, you have to write this. Okay, so we use this question mark. Now what? Now, as we know that this register view model class carries the data from this register view to the controller, and the controller will do the rest. I am going to name the controller account controller because we are dealing with the user account. Here, creating, reading, updating and deleting user account. So back in our project, so go back to the Visual Studio and look for the controller. Here it is. Add new item. New item. We want to add a controller. Let's name our controller account controller. Where is the controller? We need this controller. Let's name the account controller. Let's name our controller account controller. The name of the action method is register. Click OK. add the name of the action method is register. So change this register action method. So when a get request is issued to /account/register, this is the action method that responds, and it is going to return our register view. At the moment, we don't have the register view. The name of the controller here is account controller. The name of the controller here is account controller. So the first thing that we want to do is in the view folder, let's add new folder. Go to the view folder. Let's add the new folder. And name it account. And this folder is going to contain account folder is going to contain all the views of this account controller class. Views of this account folder is going to contain all the views of this account controller class. Right click on the account folder, add new item. Add new item. We want to add a razor view. Razor view, not a razor page. Where is the razor view? This one. We want to add a razor view. And let's name our view Register.cshtml. Register.cshtml. As you might have guessed, already, the model for this view is this register view model class. As you might have guessed, the model for this view is this register view model class. So let's copy the name of the class and specify that as the model. In the interest of time, I'm going to paste the required code. So go to the notepad And in the interest of time, copy this portion of code and paste it here. So in the interest of time, I'm going to paste the required code again. Again, there should be nothing new to you in this code. Again, there should be nothing new to you in this code, because we discussed all these concepts in detail in our previous video in this series. So let me quickly walk you through what this code is doing. First, we are using the view bag object. First, we are use view bag object title property to set the page title to user registration. And then we are using Bootstrap 5. We are using Bootstrap 5. Look at here. We are using Bootstrap 5 to style our registration view. And when this form is submitted, and when this form is submitted, we want to issue a post request. We want to issue a post request. So on the form tag, we are setting the method attribute to post, and then we are using the validation summary, and then we are using the validation summary. Validation summary tag helper to display any validation errors we might have. And then we have a div element, and then we have a div element here which contains a label, an input element, span validation element for email field. Same is true even for password. We have a label input element. And a span validation element. And then finally the same for confirm password. And finally same for confirm password. And then we have the submit button. And then we have the submit button. The text on the button is register. The text on the button is register. When this button is clicked, we will issue a post request, and this form data is submitted to the server. We discussed all these form tag helpers and issuing post request to the server in detail in the ASP.NET Core tutorial playlist. In the layout view, let's include a navigation menu item. So where is the layout.chtml file? Here it is. In the layout view, let's include a navigation menu item to get to the register view. Here we have the list. So copy this and paste it below this. So here include a navigation menu item to get to the register view. Here we have the list and create navigation menu item. Let's make a copy of this. We have already copied this of this menu item and then change the bits that are required. The text on the navigation menu item is register. So change this. Register. The text on the navigation menu item is register, and when this navigation menu item is clicked, we want to get to the account controller and register action. And register action. Okay. When this navigation menu item is clicked, we want to get to the account controller and register action. Within that account controller. Let's save all these changes and build this solution. So save the changes. And build the solution. Build succeeded. Now run the project. Build succeeded. Now run the project. Notice we have our register navigation menu. Notice we have our register navigation. Notice we have our register navigation menu, but we actually want it on the right hand side, right here. So all our registration and logging related navigation menu items should be on the right hand side here, and all our application navigation menu item like list and create on the left hand side here. So to move this register link to the right hand side, what I am going to do is create another unordered list. So go to the Visual Studio and create another unordered list. Create another unordered list here, and then use the same bootstrap navbar dash nav class. Here, copy this and paste it here. So use the same bootstrap neighbor dash class, and then move this li element inside this unordered list. So move this li element inside this unordered list. And then to push this register navigation menu item to right hand side, I'm going to use another bootstrap string class, another bootstrap styling class, ml-auto. ml-auto, but here we have specified me-auto. Why? Because we are using the same thing, same class here. But in Bootstrap 5, we have another styling for the navbar. So go to the notepad, and here is the MS Auto. So you may copy all this from here and paste it here. So instead of me-auto, we will specify ms-auto. So let me show you here. As you can see, this is the Bootstrap 5 styling. This is Bootstrap 4. This is Bootstrap 5 styling. This is also Bootstrap 5 styling. But here we are pushing the register navigation menu to the right hand side of the navbar. So remove this. So we have pushed the register navigation menu item to right hand side. We have used another bootstrap styling class. What is the bootstrap styling class? MS auto. MS-auto. Notice now we have the register navigation menu item on the right hand side. But before that, we have to save the changes and go back to the browser. But before that, we need to build the solution again. So build the solution once again and go back to the browser. Look at here, it will shift to right hand side. Okay, we have got our register menu, navigation menu here. So the register navigation menu has shifted to the right hand side of this navbar. When we click that, register navigation menu bar, the URL changes to /account/register. So click this. Look at here. So click this. So when we click that register navigation menu bar, the URL changes to /account/register. And we see our user registration view. At the moment when we submit this form by clicking this register button, notice the same user the same user registration view is re-rendered. The same user registration view is re-rendered. This is because the register action method that we have in our account controller, it is responding to both HTTP GET and HTTP POST. When a POST request is issued, it is the same action method. It is the same action method that is executed, and all this method is doing is returning us the same register view. The same register view. So we see the register view re-render. We want this register action. We want this register action to respond only to HTTP GET and not HTTP POST. So let's decorate it explicitly with HTTP GET and save our changes. So let's decorate that. HTTP GET and save our changes. And build this solution once again. Build succeeded. Go to the browser. So we redirected to the error. Okay. Means after build succeeded, run the project and click register navigation menu bar. If now you click this register button, you will be redirected to the error. Okay, the error 405. We see the not found. We see the not found error. That is because at the moment within our account controller we do not have an action method that can handle the post request issued by our register view. Issued by our register view. We will discuss this how to do that in our next video. We will handle the post request when this register button is clicked. Create a user account with the provided data on this form. That's it in this video. Thank you for listening. Have a nice day.